Okay, I'll just go back to our objectives. What Basil mentioned earlier is that our target here is Philippine biodiversity. We are not recommending that if you're going to plant agarwood, you plant only agarwood. Planting 1 hectare of pure agarwood is essentially 1 hectare of dead biodiversity. It's better for your production to include intercropping, such as vegetables and other types of trees. Also, as much as possible, I'll be speaking in Tagalog because I want Filipinos to benefit from our discussion, as there are so many other nationals wanting to get involved. So these are my credentials. But before I proceed, I would first like to recognize our experts from UP Los Baños, the academic community who wrote about how to recognize our species. I'd also like to acknowledge our other experts who have been planting for a long time, as well as those who are just starting out as suppliers. So, I'm happy because it turns out there are many others besides us who want to become wealthy, not just us. I'm glad you're all here. We're on the same page. Are you excited to talk about the income opportunities with Agarwood? So, I'll get straight to the point. Now let's go to the most interesting topic about agarwood, its price. How much does agarwood cost? Everything I will say today has evidence to back it up. If you trace the evidence, you'll find it written at the bottom of my slides. So, this isn't just hearsay. Everything is based on evidence or references. Not all agarwood is expensive. The cheapest type of agarwood can go for around 24,000 pesos per kilogram. However, the most expensive type can reach up to 4.8 million pesos per kilogram. And here in the Philippines, we already have a black market for agarwood. In the black market, agarwood sells for 200,000 to 900,000 pesos per kilogram. Here in the Philippines, the starting price is already at 200,000 pesos because no one is buying the sawdust or low-grade agarwood. They're only purchasing the high-quality ones. Let me flash a slide. This shows the potential earnings if you go into agarwood plantation. But let's go back first. For the computation that we'll use in the next slide, let's go conservative. We'll use 24,000 pesos per kilo as your worst case scenario. Then let's use 100,000 pesos per kilo as your likely case. And we'll leave the best case for now. Okay, here it is. The one highlighted in yellow is your likely case scenario. That's what you're most likely to earn. Let's start with the worst case scenario first. Your worst case scenario planting agarwood on 1 hectare. Your planting distance will be 3 by 4 meters, which is also practiced in Malaysia. Again, I'd like to remind you that it's not ideal to plant only agarwood in one plantation. You'll need to intercrop for biodiversity purposes. So, if you plant with a 3 by 4 meter distance in 1 hectare, you'll have 833 trees in 1 hectare. With the current technologies we have, you can produce at least 1 kilogram of agarwood per tree. Using our worst case scenario, you can sell it at the lowest price of 25,000 pesos per kilogram. Your earnings per hectare will be 20.8 million pesos. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. You've already earned a lot even in the worst case scenario. Now, let's go to the likely case scenario. You plant with the same 3 by 4 meter distance. Remember, always intercrop. And your production is still 1 kilogram of agarwood per tree. The selling price is still at a conservative 100,000 pesos per kilogram. Your earnings will be 83.3 million pesos per hectare. This is the most likely scenario. Is it bad? Not at all, isn't it? For me, that's really good. But I don't know about you. Now, the best case scenario, which I've indicated in this table, is still at a conservative price of 500,000 pesos per kilo. But the price of agarwood can go up to 5 million pesos per kilo. If you can reach the high-quality production of agarwood that commands that price, your probable earnings from a 1 hectare plantation won't be in millions anymore, but billions. But as we use a conservative projection at 100,000 pesos per kilo, you'll already make 83.3 million pesos per hectare. With the current technologies we have, these earnings could be realized in just 5 years. You won't have to wait up to 12 years. Now, how much would you spend for the first 3 years, aside from the initial 2.5 million pesos investment? Your expenditures should reach up to 500,000 pesos. So, you'll spend this much, and even if you lose, you'll still earn 20.8 million pesos. If you do it right, after 5 years, you'll earn 83.3 million pesos within that period. So, this is the most important slide that we have shown you today. Now, what exactly is bought from Agarwood? Is it the oil or the wood chips? The most expensive are the large blocks of Agarwood, particularly the black or dark to light brown wood produced by the Agarwood tree. Next are the smaller and cheaper wood chips. Even the scraps are still sold. The flakes, sawdusts, or sash produced are used to make Agarwood oil. An 80-kilogram batch of Agarwood sawdust can produce 100 milliliters of Agarwood oil. If you plant Agarwood with the sole intention of producing oil, you won't earn much and might end up bankrupt because the most expensive Agarwood products are the large solid blocks and wood chips. However, you can still earn from the wood sash, flakes and sawdust, which can be used to produce Agarwood oil or incense. These sawdust, flakes and sash can still be sold, provided your plantation is legal. Now that you know the potential income, let us now learn about the different Agarwood species. Here they are. What you're seeing on the screen are my plants. There's Aquilaria sinensis from Hong Kong, Aquilaria crasna, Aquilaria cumingiana, and Aquilaria malaxensis. I know them because I planted them myself from seeds. You cannot identify them based on the leaves. The only way to identify the species is by closely examining the seeds. Here are the fruits and seeds. Aquilaria malaxensis, which we have in the Philippines, has fruits that look like teardrops with small crowns and small seeds. Aquilaria microcarpa has smaller fruits and smaller seeds. Duranops verstigi is also native to the Philippines and is mostly found in Mindanao. The fruit of Duranops verstigi is yellow, just like Aquilaria cumingiana. The difference is that Duranops verstigi has elongated fruits, while cumingiana's fruits are round. Duranops has one stripe or indentation, while cumingiana has two. Aquilaria cumingiana is native to the Philippines. So, if we are to choose, let's include native species in what we grow. This is Aquilaria sinensis from China. On the right side of the picture, you can see Aquilaria crasna, which is from Thailand, Malaysia, and India. The seed of Aquilaria sinensis has a red tail and is curved, while Aquilaria crasna's seed's tail is white and straighter. However, it's difficult to distinguish their fruits and to tell which is which. So, now that you know the planting materials and you have the seeds, how would you grow the Agarwood seed that you've chosen? I'm sure some of you watching right now have experienced this. You bought Agarwood seeds, tried to grow them, but nothing sprouted or survived. Don't worry, even I have experienced that. The technology is something we are still perfecting to this day. The photo on the right is an example of the successful germination of Aquilaria cumingiana. So how do we achieve that? As a Philippine native tree enthusiast, we have been studying how to grow seeds since 2014. In 2016, we discovered that the germination chamber, or the closed system, was an effective method. We've been using Tupperware to grow Agarwood since then. It's a closed system, all contained in Tupperware. That method was discovered in 2016. In 2016, we used Zonrox bleach to disinfect the seeds. And in 2017, we experimented with peeling almost all the seeds we could get, regardless of type. In 2017, we also tried disinfecting seeds of Balai Lamok. Initially, we used Zonrox, but in 2018, we discovered that agua oxigenada, hydrogen peroxide, was better for disinfecting.